You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
The mayor of Seadrift is stepping down. In a resignation letter, Lori Thomas said she's disappointed she could not accomplish what she set out to do, but added her personal well-being has to come first. The mayor pointed to ongoing issues at City Hall and credited city staff for keeping things running, from trash pickup and road work to water, sewer, and the harbor. She also praised the police department, calling it self-sufficient under the new leadership of the chief. A special meeting will be held on Tuesday to discuss next steps.
Texas A&M Victoria now has an interim president. The Texas A&M University System Board of Regents voted to name Dr. James K. Nelson Jr. interim president of the new Texas A&M University Victoria. Nelson will start September 1st and will serve as interim president until the board selects a president. Their national search is ongoing and they expect to name a finalist in the fall. Texas A&M System Chancellor Glenn Hagar recommended Dr. Nelson to the board. Dr. Nelson is the Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs for the Texas A&M University System. He provided on-site leadership for the transition of the University of Houston Victoria into the A&M system. Dr. Nelson said this about the transition, quote, "Our students will continue their studies without interruption. Our faculty and staff will keep doing what they do best. Joining the Aggie Network gives our graduates even more lift as they pursue careers and service to the state," unquote.
The case against the man accused of murdering an Edna cheerleader is moving forward with a hearing today. Rafael Romero was present in court with his legal team. Romero's attorney and the state attorney have agreed to decide on the accuracy of transcripts provided. Romero's attorneys also made a motion to suppress certain evidence. Romero is charged with the murder of Edna High School cheerleader Elizabeth Medina, who was found stabbed to death in her family's apartment in December 2023. Romero's next hearing date is at the end of September, with his trial scheduled to begin October 27th. Time now to check in on our weather. Feels much better outside tonight than it did in the middle of the day with the heat and humidity.
Now, Mac's been teasing this cool front. He can't call it a cold front, it's a cool front. Did I get this right, Mac?
Yes, you're right, because it is going to give us a north wind, so I have to call it a cold front. It's not a wind shift line because the temperature does drop a little bit, but I can't call it a cold front. It's not cold. I don't want you to pull your sweaters out. This is currently, we're at 81 degrees, 85 in Houston, but watch this. It's in the 50s throughout much of the Midwest. That they're celebrating the arrival of an early fall up there. We'll take a look at your forecast and tell you when that front is coming through, coming up a little bit later on. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. More than 300 Texas school districts and charter schools have signaled plans to use a state-developed reading and language arts curriculum that attracted national attention last year for its heavy references to the Bible and Christianity. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. And here's your viewer poll tonight. Now, which matters more to you when schools choose curriculum? Is it academic rigor, or alignment with state standards, or additional funding incentives, or something else we don't have on that list? But overwhelmingly, 91% of our voters picked on that list academic rigor. That's what you choose in the curriculum for your schools. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we thank you for voting.
Tonight, Victoria leaders are discussing the future of the city. This event focused on bringing the community together to talk about ways to improve Victoria. Topics included population growth, job creation, affordable housing, and the city's long-term economic blueprint. Another major focus was the transition of UHV to Texas A&M. Next week, university officials highlighted new programs coming to campus, including an aviation program starting next fall and new engineering options, with the main goal of increasing enrollment.
You know, as we want to grow our community, we need those businesses and things, exactly what we're talking about tonight, to come in. And then the more that comes in, then comes with it the housing and the population growth. And, you know, it's kind of a big circle of life. So.
After the presentations, the floor was opened for questions, with many residents sharing ideas for new restaurants, businesses, and other development they would like to see in Victoria. Leaders at the event also stressed the importance of the community coming out, learning about what's happening, and taking part in the discussion on how to grow the city.
A deadly construction accident in Austin. A contractor died this afternoon after being trapped inside a mobile crane that tipped over at a construction site. There you see the site. Emergency responders arriving at the scene found the crane on its side with the person inside unconscious. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities have not released the person's name or additional details about what caused the crane to tip over. In Minneapolis tonight, officials are urgently still searching for a motive after a shooter fired weapons into a school church during prayer. 2 of Annunciation Catholic School's students were killed, and tonight we're learning who they were and how they'll be remembered. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Minneapolis.
Tonight, investigators are combing through a mountain of evidence to determine why a 23-year-old they say was full of hate shot into a school church as children prayed.
The shooter wanted to kill children, defenseless children. The shooter was obsessed with the idea of killing children.
2 students were killed in the chaos. 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel's dad today shared how his son will be remembered.
Fletcher loved his family, friends, fishing, cooking, and any sport that he was allowed to play.
And the family of Harper Moisky is mourning her death. Writing in a statement, Harper was a bright, joyful, and deeply loved 10-year-old whose laughter, kindness, and spirit touched everyone who knew her. 18 people were injured, mostly children. Speaking with us today, this mother whose 8th grade son was in the church during the shooting and ducked over a 1st grader to protect him.
His buddy's family reached out to me to just say how much they're thankful for Francis, my son's name, for protecting their young 1st grader. And I'm so proud of my son for doing that.
Both students were reunited with their families uninjured. Investigators at the scene recovered 116 rifle casings, along with 3 shotgun shells. They say the shooter had 3 weapons and died by suicide at the scene.
1 live round was recovered from a handgun that appears to have malfunctioned as the shooter attempted to use it and became stuck in the chamber.
Authorities are searching multiple residences connected to the shooter. They say the shooter, who had no prior criminal history, purchased the weapons legally. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Minneapolis.
A judge granted a new trial for 3 former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith will be retried, while 2 other officers who pleaded guilty are not included. The move comes after the original judge recused himself, saying possible gang ties raised too much of bias. A new trial date has not been set. 19 Democratic governors are pushing back against President Trump's plan to send the National Guard into more cities. In a joint statement, they called it an alarming abuse of power to deploy a state's guard without governor's consent. The administration has already used the Guard in Los Angeles during protests and in Washington, D.C. to fight crime. Now Trump says he wants to expand that effort to Chicago and possibly New York. Critics argue the move is unprecedented and even illegal. President Trump signed an executive order rolling back more federal union protections. The move ends collective bargaining rights for employees at several agencies, including NASA, the National Weather Service, and the U.S. Agency for Global Media. The administration says it's about national security, but critics argue it could face legal challenges. Collective bargaining lets unions negotiate pay, benefits, and working conditions. And President Trump signed the order under authority from the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. The Trump administration has approved its first major arms sale of new weapons to Ukraine. Ukraine is paying $825 million for more than 3,300 extended-range attack munition missiles. The State Department says funding is coming from Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, and foreign military financing from the U.S. A source said the weapons could be delivered later this year. This announcement comes as Russia continues its assault on Kyiv. Diplomatic efforts to end the war have also stalled.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. Texas leaders are putting rural health care in the spotlight. What the governor and federal officials say about new investments to improve access.
Also ahead, another shrimp recall could impact your kitchen. Why the FDA says a popular brand may pose a serious health risk.
Today marks the anniversary of the largest civil rights gathering in U.S. history, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. On August 28, 1963, more than 250,000 people gathered peacefully on the National Mall. It focused on employment discrimination, civil rights abuses against blacks, Latinos, and other disenfranchised groups. The event is where Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. The march helped pave the way for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
It's been 70 years since the lynching of black teenager Emmett Till. Till was lynched in Mississippi after reportedly whistling at a white woman. Her husband and another man abducted, beat, and killed the 14-year-old. Both men were acquitted of murder by an all-white jury after a trial. His murder helped spark the civil rights movement. The Justice Department has reopened the case several times, most recently in 2021, but closed it without charges. The two men later admitted to the killing in a 1956 interview. Cracker Barrel, already under fire for new logo, has made more changes, this time to its website. The company removed a dedicated Pride page and references to employee resource groups, including DEI. Those links now redirect to what they call a culture and belonging page. A spokesperson says the updates removed outdated content. This follows last week's backlash over the company's rebrand, which has since been scrapped.
Governor Greg Abbott and U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. were in Austin today focusing on rural health care. They met with community leaders to highlight new investments for small towns, from maternity and mental health services to rural hospital grants. Abbott pointed to his Make Texas Healthy Again package signed yesterday, saying Texas is leading with better tools for nutrition, telehealth, and innovation. With more than 6 million Texans living in rural areas, both Abbott and Kennedy say making sure every community has access to quality health care is a top priority. Nearly 1 in 4 U.S. adults report living with chronic pain. That's according to the CDC. That means that the pain has lasted for 3 months or longer.
Now, while it can significantly impact a person's quality of life, no question, many may not seek a doctor's care out of fear of being told surgery is needed. Mandy Gaither explains why one expert says surgery for pain management should rarely be the first step.
When you're dealing with chronic pain, just getting through the day can be a struggle.
It just prevents them from working, prevents them doing a lot of the things that they like to be doing.
Dr. Brian Braithwaite with Orlando Health Spine Center says instead of seeking care, some may try to deal with the pain, fearing they'll be told that surgery is the answer. But he says that's not always the right one.
surgery is kind of that last resort. And if you look at statistics, most patients get better. And I'd say probably greater than 80 to 85% of patients with chronic pain get better without ever needing surgery.
Braithwaite says the first step for patients with chronic back and neck pain is to get to the root of the problem. That starts with an x-ray to look at the alignment of the spine. If more information is needed, advanced imaging like a CT scan or MRI are then performed. He says treatment options will vary based on the diagnosis, but could include chiropractic care, massage therapy, dry needling, and acupuncture. For aches or a sprain, he says anti-inflammatory medicines like NSAIDs or other over-the-counter medications could also provide tremendous benefit. And if the pain is keeping a patient up at night, he says muscle relaxers may help.
Quality night of sleep is very important when you have chronic pain because we do want the body's natural mechanisms to kind of kick in and provide some benefit there from a health perspective.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The doctor says if a patient is taking over-the-counter medications at home and the pain is not getting better, it's a sign to see a medical provider, whether it's urgent care or going to a specialist who can help determine what's causing the pain and work with you to come up with a treatment plan.
Check your fridge. There's another shrimp recall. Aquastar is pulling more than 26,000 packages of 6-ounce cocktail shrimp. The FDA says the product may contain cesium-137, a radioactive substance that can increase cancer risk. The shrimp was imported from Indonesia and sold at Walmart in nearly 30 states between July and mid-August. So far, no illnesses have been reported. Customers can return the shrimp for a full refund and contact Aquastar with questions.
Nearly 3 million Attic fan motors are being pulled off the market over fire concerns. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the motors, sold between 2003 and 2013, can short circuit and pose a fire hazard. There have already been more than 150 reports of overheating or burning, but no injuries. The fans were sold nationwide at stores like Lowe's, ABC Supply, and Beacon, in-store and online. If you have one, the CPSC says stop using it right away and contact AirVent for a refund.
Speaking of recalls, more than 750,000 pressure washers linked to dozens of injuries are being recalled. This involves Ryobi brushless electric pressure washers. There have been 135 reports of the pressure washer's capacitor overheating and exploding in some cases. More than 30 people have reported injuries. If you own one, stop using it immediately and go to Ryobi's website to request a free repair kit.
And good evening, everybody. We're looking at 81 degrees right about now. Another warm day as we didn't have any clouds or any rain today. Got up to 97. Tomorrow, probably looking at maybe 98, maybe 99. All that coming up in a moment. Stay tuned. Well, good evening, everyone. It was a warm day. I don't know if you were working outdoors, but you know, the factor, and we've talked about it, you know, how much humidity and whether or not we have humidity. I mean, sometimes it's even more oppressive without the temperature being as high, but today it was 97. What happened was the little front that we saw here last night, somewhere around Waco, started pushing back up as the strong south wind is bringing back that humid air. So we're all humid right here, but we're also on the dry side. This frontal system was what was triggering that shower activity. But what's really interesting is that now we're getting some strong cold fronts. Pardon me. As you can see right about here, a big front. Well, actually, that's front number 1 already out in the Atlantic. It's front number 2, and the fall weather is really spreading out all over the place, or popping or falling all over the place. That's a good one. We are looking at tonight. Things are very quiet. No shower activity anywhere in the Crossroads. Tomorrow we have a slight chance of showers to the north of us, but I believe most of us here in Victoria County will be not seeing any rain. Only here along the Texas border will we have a chance for some actual thunder showers, and that's pretty far away from us. These are the temperatures right now. So yes, we're about 81. It's still 92 in San Antonio, 85 in Houston. But watch this. We go, we fly, we fly, we fly, and we want you to see the temperatures that are so much nicer. Look at that. Chicago's down to 66, 56 up in Milwaukee. You're looking at 70 there. So yes, they are looking at very fall-like weather throughout much of the country, and it encourages me because sooner or later one of these fronts will make it all the way down here. That'll have some actual cool weather. Right now we're just looking at not so hot weather. The Gulf of Mexico, fairly quiet. The Atlantic, there is a little bit of busyness right here, but that's the remnants of what used to be Fernand. We have an area down here way off the coast of Africa that has a whopping 20% chance of it getting organized, but you know, we are here currently right now at this very moment in the peak of the activity last week of August and first week of September for tropical storms. And it's not really happening, so it may be a season where we just sneak by. That would be nice. Let's take a look at your future tracker. As you can see here on a Thursday night, we go into Friday morning. A few little clouds here and there. No real precipitation expected. And then on Friday evening, things are looking good. Now, we got football Friday night, so I don't expect any kind of shower activity anywhere in the Crossroads to mess up the football games unless you're going to Houston. Now, as we get to Saturday morning, we see the frontal system start to move down, and then you see that first band of showers that came through. And watch this. On Sunday, it passes our area, and we will have a northerly wind blowing through here, and it will knock the temperatures down a bit, and it will have some shower activity with it as it passes through, but you won't need a sweater, okay? You'll maybe need a raincoat, but it'll be nice to get the cloud cover. Tomorrow, a warm day out in Port Lavaca, getting up to 96. Lots of sun, pretty good day to go out to the beach. We're looking at 97 in Cuero, still on the hot side for Friday, but it's a Saturday that's still warm. Sunday is when that front comes through, and Monday on Labor Day, looking for a whopping high of 88 degrees. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And so football Friday night's looking good, Max. Got you covered.
Yeah, thanks, Mac. And it looked like no rain in the forecast. Looks like it'll be a little cool at night times. It'll be good for all the football teams playing there tomorrow night. But for tonight, though, we're going to reveal our athlete of the week. And who will that be? I'll let you know who that is coming up. Tomorrow night, everyone, kicks off majority of high school football action here across the state of Texas. But volleyball's also taking center stage right now here in the fall. And one West volleyball star has a bright future in senior Isabella Bazell, who is our Athlete of the Week. Here's the full story next. Keeping in the volleyball ranks, this week's Athlete of the Week goes to Victoria West, Isabella Bazell. Bazell Tuesday night versus St. Joseph Lady Flyers had 8 kills and 18 digs to help West win in a hard 3-set victory. West also just last week won the Bastrop tournament, making the first time in school history winning this tournament. Bazell highlights what was the key winning this tournament was.
We do have a lot of team bonding. We did win the Bastrop tournament, like you said. We beat Davenport, Belleville, all these teams that we didn't think we would beat. We are actually #1 in the state right now, but we connected.
This past summer, Bazell competed for Next Star Beach Volleyball with teammate Avery Griffin, and she credits some key aspects she learned this summer for this season.
Me, like in the long run, again with my communication skills, my ball control, and I think it helped me bring it to the team.
Bazell also shouted out her head coach, Ingara Gomez, who's coached her since the 6th grade and has helped her journey along the way. She highlights how his constant energy is brought on the court.
That being our biggest cheerleader, jumping up and down, but we love when he's like going crazy after we just slammed a ball or got an ace.
Gomez also had some high praise for Bazell and appreciates her leadership on the court.
She has been such an incredible leader. She has been such an amazing light for the team. She has done something that only a coach can dream of. Just pour love into the game, pour love onto her teammates.
Having Bazell in a stacked senior class in Emily Parker and Christian Leichner, Warriors Volleyball looks to break records this season with the current undefeated record. Bazell highlights how this team needs to stay focused the rest of the way.
I think we need to stay positive and not get too cocky, because we are 18-0 now. But again, just play our game, play what we know we can do, and just succeed and keep going.
Warriors Volleyball competes this weekend in the College Station tournament before traveling to Goliad next Tuesday night. See if they can keep the undefeated streak going, and congrats to Isabella Bazell for being this week's Athlete of the Week. All right, so most of our teams are kicking off tomorrow, but 6-man football happened tonight here at Victoria Gators as they host Texas Christian. And starting off here, the Tigers of Texas Christian out of the Houston area, they started off strong. As you see quarterback Andrew Eli get a nice little big play. But guess what? After that play, though, they would not be able to score because the defense only allowed 6 points there for the Gators, and their offense would take over when they needed the big plays. I mean, first of all, Eli Groffmeyer makes a big-time play right here. Look at this catch. Gets a little players, makes a little players miss there, and then gets into the end zone. And then after that, you got some big plays from their defense, and they would win this game with the final score here being in this one there 35-6 in that one there, Victoria Gators. And again, that is going to be the first win for their season. They're going to be back against Arlington Heights there next week. And we also had something else to look at as well. We had two SOTs in there. We looked at Jaden Williams, and we looked at, again, Eli Groffmeyer about how they feel for this team going in.
Give God the glory, and it was a great opponent. Last year, my first game ever coaching was against this team here, and they gave it to us. They put it on us. It was a great game, but it was 0-1 last year at the start of the season, and so, you know, having a whole 365 days to come back and prepare and regroup and, you know, meet the new guys we come on the team, you know, we want to win. We know we're going to win, but
sometimes I just can't. I don't see him all the time because I'm just too into the game, and I know he's saying that I'm a ball hog, but he doesn't know how it's like. But
I love that. Again, that brother connection there, both with the Groffmeyer bros, and they're going to be huge. Like I mentioned, they're starting next week. They're going to be out there in Arlington Heights for Week 2 action, and that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
You may have forgotten. Do you have that final score, Max?
Yes. So for Don's sake and everyone's sake out here in the Houston area, we got the Houston Cougars that won 27-0 over Stephen F. Austin. And one little stat for you, Don, real quick. Connor Wegman, 15-24, 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, yes. And your Longhorns are on Fox 19 Saturday morning at 11. Is that right?
I'll be watching.
What is that team they're playing, Max? Do you know that?
State University
Ohio
got.
State
So, you know, they're going to get the win.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know. Yeah.
We might have to
Just letting you
battle it
know.
out,
Yeah,
but
just letting you know.
I think my Longhorns can do it.
Fun game. Watch and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, show your school pride this weekend. We'll tell you when and why fans across the country will be sporting their college colors.
Morning on North Padre Island, a very special send-off for one young sea turtle. The Texas State Aquarium's wildlife rescue team released a juvenile Kemp's Ridley, the most endangered sea turtle in the world, after 8 months of rehab. This turtle was one of 18 flown in from Massachusetts last winter after being found cold stunned, too weak to swim or survive on its own. It arrived sick with pneumonia, but after months of treatment, it made a full recovery. And today, it finally got to head back home to the Gulf.
Awesome story there. You know, Americans have nearly 1 billion reasons to buy a Powerball ticket this week. The lottery game's jackpot now sits at $950 million after no one correctly matched all 6 numbers on Wednesday night. This now makes it the 6th largest prize amount in Powerball history. The jackpot has been rolling over since the last winner on May 31st. If someone wins Saturday night's drawing, that player can choose to get 29 yearly payments or a lump sum payment around $429 million. Your chances to win the Powerball drawing, lottery officials say it's roughly 1 in 292 million.
Well, if I'm not here next week,
you know why.
you know why. But
She was the one in
I have a feeling I'll
292
be
million.
here.
Yeah. Yes, that's all right.
If there's someone missing here, folks, you know what happened.
Yeah.
And you
It
say
would be nice. But
And you say our odds are better for great weather for the opening night of high school football
Absolutely.
tomorrow
Well,
night.
Friday night's going to be big because it's the start of a whole new
good
football
to hear.
season. And of course, Max is going to be giving you all the details. All I got to tell you is it's going to be great. It's going to be warm in the afternoon up to about 98. But once the sun goes down, it's going to be very pleasant up in the stands. Saturday is our transition day when the clouds roll in, but we look for a good chance for rain on Sunday as that front finally makes it through our area.
all right, we'll take those odds. Well, as you're picking out your outfit for tomorrow, make sure you honor your alma mater because tomorrow is National College Colors Day.
right.
That's when people are encouraged to wear shirts, pants, and other apparel representing their colleges. For example, Penn State fans will wear blue and white. Alabama fans will don crimson, red, and white. This sports-related holiday takes place the Friday before Labor Day, heading into the first full weekend of the college football season.
Yeah, high school football.
We know what color Don's going to be wearing.
Yep,
He's
we
red.
And we'll be celebrating.
I'll be
wearing
wearing
red.
red,
Burnt
or
orange.
gray,
Burnt
orange.
I don't know, burnt orange or maroon, and not for A&M, but for Texas State. So,
okay.
you know,
Pick one.
that's my actual
Yeah.
alma mater. I'm a Longhorn fan, but,
okay.
you know,
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'll be here.
we'll see. Well, thanks for joining us.